welcome back, guys and girls, and cats and whatever you have out there watching with us. I guess, like the rest of us, you just watched the movies and perhaps have a few thoughts. If you have any thoughts, have any questions, please let us know in the chat and we will take them as we go along. But we will start discussing the movies or discussing our how we feel about them or what made an impression. And perhaps we should start with Ragnhild because as from feminist society, but not as into like the whole animation world, we feel it's quite a privilege to try and welcome you to the void universe of animation, which is a little different than Disney or what you might have seen before.
Yeah, thank you. Well, as you said, my experience with animation is based mostly upon Disney and, well, Pixar, yeah. So I found it very interesting to watch these videos because they portrayed women and gender in a different way than I've seen in other animation videos before. So I found it very interesting to watch these videos. I think it was eye-opening. Yeah,
oh, that's nice. That's great. And I should say that these movies have been screened at the Void festivals the last the years until now. So this is part of our visual identity or what we like about animation. So I hope you guys like it. And perhaps we should move on to Anna from the film club. Your general what made an impression?
What made an impression? Well, we've been talking a little bit while most people were watching the films actually, so we did have quite a few very interesting points. I don't want to kill them all actually right away. No, but what struck me most, I really love the film Love by Reka Bucci, because also we talk, like in regards with gender, we felt that like none of the creatures in the film are gendered in any which way. And there is just love between all these creatures, and it feels like they're just mirroring each other, so they're falling in love with their own image, kind of, or just a similar image of themselves. And I found that really interesting to think about. Yeah, it's just like my first thought.
Yeah. And what about you? You also just watched the movies. Yeah. Do you have like any, what made an impression upon you as perhaps as a director?
Yeah, because I didn't think about them in a gender-specific way at all. I was mostly like trying to get a hold on the stories, which I found really difficult with these kind of films. But then I also I really like the graphics in Rebecca's film. I don't know how to pronounce her last name.
Nope. Rebecca. Just
Reka.
Yeah. But I think her graphic universe is really beautiful, and there are many really nice ideas in her films. Yeah.
It's a nice universe to be drawn into, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Really nice. Okay. Then I can actually say, because now we've been talking about Love as the film, and we have a short description about the film, and it is what she focuses on is the 3 different chapters, which the first time I saw it, it wasn't even something that I realized or was something I paid attention to. And she describes the changing of atmospheres on little planets, and the habitats becoming one with each other, which I think is perhaps something you also really mentioned. So I think it's nice that perhaps now this event is kind of gendered. So yeah, maybe we should just have Karla move just a tiny bit closer. Nice.
Is it good?
We're doing. But to try, because gender is, or like the female perspective or anything, is not something that has been mentioned about the film at all. But I still feel like we read a bit into it.
Yeah, I mean, of course we read into it because we like. Okay, so there was a thematic idea behind this talk that we're having right here, and also when I watched it the first time, I didn't think about it much, but then we started talking about gender and femininity and like female filmmakers and how they perceive female roles and like just actually you had a really nice point that maybe you want to talk about like how female characters are viewed.
I think you referred to the point of the women I've seen in animation has mostly been written by men or created by men, and it's interesting to see women created by women and to see maybe the perspective that women want to show themselves. I think that's fascinating because then you all of a sudden see more like different kind of women in different shapes and forms, which of course has been more popular in other animation movies but was more present in these, I would say. But also what I think about the movie Love was maybe the lack of gender thinking is also a big part of it because she hasn't chosen to put blue and purple, or like maybe gender colors when there are two, like there's pairs, but they're mostly the same color. And where if you wanted to get the gender through, you would probably choose different colors, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not known with animation movies, but that's what I think maybe could be a point there. Yeah.
And colors is super important in animation, as I feel from yesterday's talk, especially with Sarah Koppel. She was mentioning colors a lot and like how it really impacted her view on everything, and how colors are super important for her. And what do you feel about colors?
I was just about to ask
what
like
I feel about colors.
How you work with colors.
I work a lot with colors. Yeah, and I love colors. It's a big part of my work, and I love to watch colorful films and but I don't know how like specific I work with it, but it means a lot to me that the colors are right and I feel they fit together. Yeah. So,
is there like a clear connection to from the colors to your emotion or the emotions you want to portray? Maybe also when you're illustrating.
Of course, it works together. Bright colors, lighter emotions, or of course it works together with the story, and
I think that was used in the first video or animation film, very much with the cats. When she got sad, it all turned grey. When she lost her, everything turned blue.
Yeah. And we actually had a funny discussion about the cat movie Catherine, which was the first movie, where you also said that you actually, when you were a child, had this like vision or dream about
that I want my grandparents' dog to be
stuffed.
Yes,
I think stuffed out.
Because then we could keep it forever.
Because I think that's a really nice thought, because my first thought was actually that this was super bizarre and she was not a very good caretaker. But somehow, like when you said that, it translated into actually caring super much for these animals that you wanted.
But I had the same feeling. That I think it was like too much, but then I was like, but I had the same idea when I was a kid.
Sorry, it just started.
It's just a meta communication.
Yeah, exactly. So that's just off now. Maybe we can continue. And you also had some deep thoughts about stuffed cats.
It's a really like shame. Like I don't know. I never said it to anyone. Actually, I always said it to you. But I also had a dream about like my grandmother had a lot of cats. Like she was not a cat lady at all. She was a sculptor, and she made a lot of sculptures of cats. And there was always at least 2-3 cats in the house, and then some new ones were being born. Anyways, I had these dreams that I would like really caress the cat, and a bit too much. But I really loved the cat, and it was really scary. Also,
Too
as a
much.
child, even then, I was like, okay, this is not okay. Like, not even to dream. Yeah. Anyways.
And actually, I can almost. We had another film that we wanted to play, which was also about women and cats.
Yeah.
So, and we will link to that afterwards. But that seems like kind of a theme, or it became like a thing with cats and women in some of these short animation films.
Yes.
In
And
our
when we
little
started
research.
talking about that, is this necessarily a thing you have, like, if you are, do you have to become a cat lady? Like,
No. I will never be a cat lady.
no.
No.
Maybe
No.
a dog lady, but
A dog lady?
No.
No.
No pets.
That was the only dog I ever liked. My grandparents' dog. I'm not a pet lady.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I can see, like, animation films with pets, and I think they're cute, but out in real life, I not really have that same feeling.
Fair enough.
would you have animals in your own animation videos, or how would you?
Yeah.
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 That's interesting.
We have right now. I'm working on a film, and it takes part in nature, so everything is animals and fairies and nature creatures, and I think they're really cute, but not in the real world.
Okay.
I don't have this. Oh my God, a cute little cat. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's something you can express through.
So I don't think
Animation.
it's a thing that all women are become old cat ladies.
Yeah. I mean, you were saying that you can either be a, what was it that you said? You can either be a cat person,
Yeah,
or
it's
you can
actually
have a friends person. Like,
yeah, it's because the director of the movie Catherine, she actually wrote as one of the sentences for
Right.
this movie that Catherine, her cat is her life, and little by little she grows up to be a crazy old cat lady. Will she ever find friendship or love? And I think it's funny that that it has to be either you're a cat lady or you get friends and love. So, and I just I loved how the stereotypical of like, if you can't find a husband, then get cats, or if you're just lonely as a woman, get cats. That seems like almost an answer, like a stereotypical answer
Yeah.
or solution for women, like the modern day hysteria.
yeah, but it's really weird because so all the films that have been shown tonight, they were made by women,
Mhm.
and also the characters, well, apart from love,
Yeah.
because they're not gendered, they're mainly women in there, right? Am I
Mhm.
correct? I think, yeah.
Yeah.
And still, like, the cat thing is really coming up there a lot. And there was actually another film that we didn't end up showing that was also a cat lady situation.
Yeah, that was the noise of licking.
The Noise of
Yeah.
Licking,
Yeah.
by Vanda Andrashev, and that's also very, very similar to Catherine, although it's a different outcome. But
Yeah, but also a bizarre ending.
yeah, and it's just weird how women are internalizing this cat lady thing somehow still.
Yeah.
Being
Or-
forced into the box.
Yeah, it's weird, but maybe it's also okay, because why not? Like, if this
Yeah.
is what you want to do,
Embrace
then
it.
do it. I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah, maybe we should talk about because both Love and Catherine were some longer movies, and we also had Love Me, Fear Me, which was a stop motion movie, just to show some different techniques within the animation world, which was also more not non-gendered, which is more of a shape-shifting kind of character that dances around. And she has also written a little thing that I think is quite saying, and not what I got from it in the beginning, but she writes that Love Me, Fear Me is a danced-out metaphor about the roles we play and the shapes we take, about the stages we choose, the audience we try to impress, and the price of acceptance. So I saw it much more poetically as a shape-shifting, but not in such a negative way. but I feel like her own impression of it is quite negative, or like a mask thing that this character tries to be different to different situations and different people.
I think it's a metaphor for the constant need to please someone or fit into other people's boxes and be what they want, even if it's like something they love or something they fear. Or
but I think that's a very human thing.
Of course.
Yeah. So maybe that's why. Do you have anything on? Have you ever worked with stop motion?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah. When I was a kid, I did a lot of stop motion films. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because it was an easy tool to work with. Yeah, and I really enjoyed it, and I also it's easy to work with, and I actually made a movie to my father and his now ex-wife. It was a honeymoon movie for their wedding. Yeah.
What was it about?
It was about a couple going on honeymoon on this Hawaii kind of beach, and then they were diving underwater, and there was underwater life, and the characters in the film, they got more and more smashed together because the clay was kind of like blending in together. It was not my intention, but
sounds like a great metaphor.
Yeah.
It's the perfect
it was
honeymoon.
but it was fun to work with. Yeah, and I also worked with it with my siblings, sister. Yeah. Also, because it's easy to work with. Stop motion and claymation with kids. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, actually, we also did a stop motion workshop with Void, where we had some designers out, and I think we're gonna do it again. Hopefully. And it was also like, okay, this is easy. You can work with it. It works in front of you, and you don't have to be good at drawing or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a totally different technique than.
And also you can see results pretty fast. You can just scroll through your pictures and it will move around. Yeah.
It sounds kind of low maintenance. Like you don't need fancy programs or graphics and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's a lot of work still, because every or is it not?
Yeah.
It's just how I imagine I have.
It's always a lot of work when you do animation. It always takes time.
It's probably less work with clay than with actually drawing.
Yeah, and I should let you know behind the screen that if you do have any questions, please let us know, and we will take
comments.
them. Or comments. So please join the discussion. One we haven't talked about is the last one, dark chocolate, which is also perhaps bringing into the question some, like it's about sexuality, but through the metaphor of chocolate, which I think it's very nice and tasty, but also brings not just women and sexuality, but also a lot of other different not genders, but all the others that are not male and female, and also sexualities that are not as common, perhaps, or that is more taboo. And I thought it was really nice to perhaps try and shock people a little in the end with this movie. So, is there any great comments for that?
Any others?
I didn't saw the last of it because it was already too much for me. I'm an old lady. I cannot. It was too vulgar for me. So I was like, too much.
Okay, yeah. Well, actually, that's. I was about to say. I think that's basically the point. Because at first I was really in love with the simpleness of it, with just having one character walk in front and having that morph into something different, and I really liked the style. And I think the first time I saw it, I didn't even listen to what was said, and then the second time I got this, oh my god.
What was the same? I think in the beginning you kind of listen in the background because it's like pretty simple stuff they're saying, and it's nice to look at. But then all of a sudden it takes this twist and goes a bit darker, and then you kind of wake up and you're like, what?
Yeah.
But I think it's very nice. I think, very nice to look at with the colors and as you said,
Yeah.
Also not pushing. Also showing all these different genders and sexualities. I think it's also cool and a way of talking about chocolate, which is something most people like in a universal way. I don't know. I think that's also or calling it chocolate.
Maybe it's a great way of having that duality with the not so nice production wise and like the really nice taste wise. We do have actually some questions now, so nice. Maybe we should go ahead. We do have one Joni with us, which I can actually say she is one of the filmmakers of a feature film we will be showing at the festival, which is very great to have you with us. I should just read what she writes. Question to all panelists. From these films, or any film you've watched, do you find any significant character in many animated made or directed by women in terms of content or visual character? So is there any character, perhaps not just from these movies, but from other movies that has made an impression on us?
Directed
like female
by women.
Or what female character?
Yeah.
Don't really get the question.
Significant character in any animation made by women.
Yeah.
I think that's the point of the question.
Well.
Because I think we all grew up with, I should say, like the Disney princesses. And
Chigeline.
Oh yeah, that's actually and Pippi Langstrømpe, for example.
Oh, I grew up on that too.
Pippi
Longstockings in English.
And I think she also there's this great podcast. I think it's a podcast or is it a program on DR with like women talking about the Pippi Longstocking syndrome or something like to empower women through the character of Pippi Longstocking, because she's very I can do anything ish. Which I think is great.
And no one can tell me what to do. I go to bed very late, I eat chocolate.
I have a monkey, I have a horse.
Yes. Don't go to school because I don't want to.
But true, Sigeline was also something that I grew up watching.
Is that a Danish? Or
it's a
70s thing. Old school. But that was just the creator of the character was a female. But
But the character was also female?
Yeah, the character is also female. A little girl live in a tændstiksæske. I don't know what you call it in English.
A match.
Fire match.
A matchbox. A matchbox.
And has some friends, like 2 mice that she's friends with.
But I don't know. I don't really know any other like characters from female directors.
I mean, there's Tove Jansson with the Moomin. I mean, she's written the stories, but they're Japanese animation films of them, I think. But okay, then I'm out.
Yeah, her old illustrations. That was her. That's true, but that's also kind of there's sort of genders, but it's not that much.
It's also not that much. No. It's there are all these different creatures. I think that's movies I grew up watching.
But that's also very 70s. like Cirkeline.
But that could maybe bring us to the question of representation in animation and in the industry of women, basically, like how there are some, we read some articles before this to prepare, that apparently there's a lot of female students in animation education. It's around 75% are women, but then actually when they go to actually work in animation, it goes down to 25%. And what could the reason be for this? This is something that could be interesting to maybe.
And we're looking
discuss.
to you.
Yeah, but I don't know why there is not more female directors. But I also only know the Danish business, and there are some female directors. So I don't feel it. Yeah, I don't feel that. Yeah, I'm alone. Danish female director at all. Yeah.
But you mentioned that in school, for instance, at the Danish film school, you were the only woman in your class, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. First year we were two girls, and then one she dropped out for some reasons. Yeah, and then I was alone with 4 boys.
Four boys.
Okay.
But it was a small class.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever missed having more female or women on your team?
Yeah, mostly when we went to these like gaming nights. Then I missed more females in my class. But else it was mostly when we did the productions at the school, and especially the game productions. We also I'm also educated game director.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but I don't work with games right now. But then I had productions where there was 20 males and me, the only female in the room. And that was tough, but mostly tough because it sometimes was kind of that they forget that there was a female in the room, so I have to listen to all their like boys talking about girls and private stuff, but then I one day was like, all your private things you can talk about when you are off work, because I don't want to hear about it, because else it's difficult for me to work with you. Yeah.
But then you also mentioned that you were the director of these 20 men.
Yeah.
So you were actually in like a power position compared to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's actually something really interesting.
Yeah. Like the other way around, sort of.
Yeah.
Than what we've seen recently. But I think in the gaming industry, it's
but I really think that the animation industry, the people are really sweet, and most of the people are just like geeks. And I think people are easy to work with and talk with, because we are kind of in the same boat in a way, like
so it doesn't
the
matter
geeks from school.
So it doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl in this situation. It's just geeks.
I don't think it's right now when you hear so much about other businesses, but that's only my personal experience. I don't know how other people are feeling, but I don't feel that it's that heavy, like when you hear about all the other businesses right now in this sexism talk. Yeah, but it's a culture there everywhere. Yeah.
I also have this perception of art colleges and universities and work places and being more open-minded because you work with art and coming up with stories. Maybe that's my personal perception of it, but it might also be based on that you also are open-minded and thinking in a more artistic way. I don't know how that. Maybe that's just me. I know a few architecture students or other art students, and they also seem less gender focused maybe than other industries like business, like we come from. That's very gender focused, and or you see very clear lines where the women are left behind and then grow up. I don't know if that's just a very personal perception of the industry though. But
maybe we should talk a bit about animation because I would like to. Yesterday we had Sarah Koppel by, and we both had a big fascination for her art before she got here, so that was fan time. But maybe you can also share some of your favorite artists of what you've been really inspired by. Not necessarily women. We're taking that out now. It's just animation.
But then it will definitely be Miyazaki movies.
Yeah.
And the Chihiro film was my first really big film experience. I was 9 years old when I watched the film first time, so it really hit me, and I was totally in love with the Haku. And I was also really in love with his voice. The Danish actor Sebastian Jessen was just the best. So that was a big thing, and the film has kind of stuck to me ever since, and it's really my favorite movie.
But it's funny when you talk about it. I wish that everyone could see Diana producing, because she was just everything you said was just yes, yes, yes. So maybe that's you're not the only one really in love with this.
No, it's true. Miyazaki is great. I also love his stuff. My boyfriend is a huge Miyazaki fan, so we watched a lot of it. So I also caught up on the love, I think. But you also mentioned earlier when we talked that just about other artists who inspire you or who you learned from. We had Sarah Koppel here yesterday, and you said that you've been working with her. Yeah,
when I was teenager, younger, I think I was around 17. I worked with her, I was in
doing an internship, right?
Yeah.
Or
Praktikant.
Internship.
Yeah, and then I was coloring her drawings, and also sitting in her studio and doing some of my own stuff. But it was really, she was a big inspiration to me, and she was also one of the reasons I got into the animation world. And I think she really opened my eyes to when your drawing starts moving around, and it's just really a magical feeling when you see your characters alive on the paper.
Yeah, because you're also an illustrator, where that's completely still, but actually having it move is another art form.
Before I did the comics and went to a comic school in Sweden, so it was just really nice to see my drawings moving around. And then I worked with Karina, which also is
one of our other jury members, Karina Ragnhild, which will be in another event that I will talk about. But you also have a connection to her.
Yeah, but she was also like just one of the ladies that got me into the animation world. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, some sisterhood within the animation world.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think it's funny because yesterday when we had Sarah Koppel here, she also mentioned that that she already met and knew Sine Baumann that we had
on Wednesday.
On Wednesday
event.
So I feel like there's this chain of artists that we've dealt with that somehow know each other, and that was not the outset, but I think it's really cool that.
But it's also a small world.
Yeah, yeah, maybe it is.
Yeah.
We actually also got like a comment that Miyazaki writes really good and complex female characters.
Yeah.
So, which I only agree. And that having female mentors is also important, and maybe that could be why like it takes some time for the industry to catch up with like the leading roles in animation to also be female. That it takes some time for.
Yeah, Sarah and Karina, they were really good that to push me, like, go and make an application for the Danish film school. Like, come on, you can do it. And so that was
encouraging.
That was like definitely a help. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Do you have any male mentors? Did you have any?
Not like really. I talk with people around me. So I
just I mean,
and
we also have to be.
And a lot of the teachers at the Danish film school were males, and they also like was there a lot and was good. So I don't. It's not that only female mentors, not at all.
No, of course. I mean, we are also not here to push that agenda. I think it might look like it, but it's not the idea. I think it's always nice to have female mentors to look up to, so you have some kind of an image like where you can go yourself and like you can identify with these role models. Yeah. I think it makes it much easier to like grasp for up and coming artists. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But I actually think we're short of wrapping up. So if there's any final questions, we will of course take them.
Or comments or something.
Yeah, or comments. People should feel free. Other than that, I will say thank you very much for, first of all, the collaboration with CBS Film, Feminist Society, and thank you so much for joining tonight. And of course, to our guest, thank you so much, Karla, for joining us. And I look forward to seeing you at the festival that I have to mention. In 2021, Void will be happening in Cinemateket from the 25th of February to the 6th of March. And for you guys who are not in Copenhagen, we will also have a digital platform, which we're very excited about. And look to our site for coming events, because we are planning some more pop-ups. The next one will be on the 30th of November, where we will have Karina Ragnhild talking about music videos, and we will show you some very cool animated music videos. And that will be a live event, so I think that is it. No comments, no last comments. Yeah. So
I have a comment. I hope you all enjoyed your drink pairings.
Oh
that we totally forgot to mention it, but I think everyone had a drink, right?
Yeah.
We did
it's Friday.
We did have a lovely 50s housewife.
There is wine in these.
Alcohol hidden. It's coffee. Totally coffee.
Well, maybe we should just then say cheers and have a great Friday evening.
Exactly.
And we will actually also give you some links to some further short films that is really nice and still within the Void universe.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.